Welcome back. I'd like you to meet Sonny, who along with his cousin Douglas and Douglas's mum Patchwork, who is pregnant by the way, are the latest addition to our menagerie of a family. Sonny, of course, is a South American llama. He's by no means fully grown. He's only about 8.5 months old. When he's fully grown, he'll be up to there. And he's a member of an extremely rare and legendary species, particularly for their feats of sure-footedness in the high Andes of South America as pack animals. But llamas have a lot of other uses. Apart from any of the other uses, they are a superb companion animal. And as Wendy Ragg of Lily Pilly Llamas here on the Gold Coast says, they are the perfect cuddling height, as you can see from Sonny's standing there with my arm around him. Now, these animals have become very desirable as pets in Australia and other parts of the world. And I'm going to tell you a lot about llamas. There are only about 500 llamas in Australia, and those who own and breed them are totally captivated by their gentle and curious nature and their ability to live comfortably in a wide variety of climatic conditions. They're found from Tasmania to central Queensland, and apart from their growing popularity as social pack animals in tourism, their fleece is superb for weaving and the making of underfelt. The popularity of llamas for these purposes is spreading, but in the time I've spent with llama owners here in Australia, I've become aware of another element in the way in which their owners relate to them. These animals have been domesticated for over 5,000 years, but it's clear that they've been around for a lot longer than that. They're herd animals, and their natural enemies are cougars. They rely on the security of the herd and swift flight for survival, and are ever watchful. But they're not timid, and temper their aloof watchfulness with a healthy curiosity. They're protective of their young and carry this through to other small ruminants with which they will readily herd bond. They are used as shepherds with goats, deer and sheep, and will rapidly identify danger and move the herd to safety, and if necessary fight an aggressor using their feet as weapons. There's a mystical quality to llamas. They're intelligent and respond to gentle handling, rewarding this with devotion. For this reason, they bring their own special quality to their relationship with their owners and make superb and undemanding companion animals. They can carry up to 50 kilos. They'll pull a cart and readily train as a safe saddle animal for children. They're very clean in their habits, the entire herd dunging in the same place, and if they're away from the dung pit, they're continent. This means that they're automatically house-trained, and I was surprised a couple of times to walk into a house to find a llama comfortably cushed in the living room watching TV. Cushing, by the way, it refers to the way in which they sit down. Cherie Bridges has been involved with llamas for a number of years and has the largest breeding herd in Australia. We recently attended an open day at Lavandula Farm near Daylesford in Victoria, and Cherie told us a little about her llamas.
The terminology, which probably isn't a common one in Australia, more known in America, that we're using is companion animal. They're an animal that would be a family pet, that because of their capacity and their strength and their tolerance can be used for trekking. So therefore going into the bush, they've got soft padded feet so they don't cause environmental damage, and they can carry gear for people, and they're very tractable. So an animal can become part of the family and family outings. They're browsers. They'll be happy to graze, so people keep them just in paddocks and they graze. We feed ours, as you see here, with supplementary hay. That's just during the dry season or in winter. They love leaves. Amazingly enough, they love gum leaves. I don't know where they developed a taste for them, but they do. And all kinds of deciduous leaves, so they enjoy a browse.
What about single llama families? Is that possible?
Possible, but not encouraged. We encourage people to have them in pairs. They are a herd animal, and if people care for their animals, they like to have them in the environment that will make them the most happy, and that's to have a companion. So 2 of them is advisable.
Now, what about commercial aspects of llamas?
The best example to look at that is really in the US, where there are around 28 successful llama-based commercial tourist operations, where people are running llamas, and people come along and do anything from a llama lunch, which we'll be talking to people about today. We have one of those in Australia, right up to 2-week camps in the bush where they'll go deep into the forest, and the llamas are carrying all the camping gear, tethered at night and so forth. We will have a talk on that today, but there's businesses there where people operate for 3 months of the year and make a living out of it.
And their wool?
Their wool is very varied. We've got samples of fleece here where people can see it's absolutely exquisite soft wool, but because they haven't been selected for their wool over centuries, they're not as efficient a wool producer as, say, their cousins the alpaca in terms of the quantity they produce for their body weight. But the wool is certainly a byproduct of the llama. It's excellent, has excellent thermal qualities. It's brilliant for spinning, weaving or felting, so it certainly can be used, and it's very popular in the craft industry.
John Mallon is from California and has spent his life gentling and training horses and other animals. He became involved with training llamas several years ago and now concentrates on teaching his methods around the world. He recently visited Australia and gave lectures and practical demonstrations of his methods. We caught up with him at Lily Pilly Llamas in the Gold Coast hinterland.
Well, John, you've obviously trained a lot of different animals. What gave you the handle as to what presses llamas' buttons?
Well, Chris, it's an understanding of the psychology of a prey animal and realizing that they're easily frightened. So we have to bring them along, and rather than push them, we have to pull them our way.
Now, the basic personality of the animal must help. They are very passive, aren't they?
Very passive, reactive, defensive animal. They don't have much in the way of offense whatsoever, so they're easygoing animals. Been domesticated a long time for that.
And how many have you trained?
Oh, geez, thousands.
Where? I mean, all over the world?
Around the States and Canada mostly. Now Australia. I'll be going to England next year.
Now, a fully trained llama has a huge range of capabilities.
Oh, I don't think we've even begun to tap what they're able to do. They're very capable of traversing the most inhospitable terrain, carrying large loads, places where a mule or a horse wouldn't dream of trying to go. They drive and cart and harness in singles, pairs, triples, four-ups. They're just a real handy animal with a kind heart and a good mind.
Now, I guess being cameloid, they have a reputation for spitting. Do you want to just lay that ghost forever?
Yeah, it's highly overrated, really. It's a manner of communicating within the herd that causes no physical harm to another animal. It's a very polite way of saying stop what you're doing. Not polite in human terms, but in their terms, it's a very easy way of doing things without getting hurt. The problem with the reputation came from the zoos and the animals who are improperly handled in the petting zoos and have problem figuring out what the relationship is to humans. So they will treat people as if they were llamas, which involves spitting at later dates. But around a domestic situation like this, you'll never see it. You'll never see it.
Llamas have an 11.5-month gestation period and females are pregnant for most of their average 25-year life. They birth easily and the babies, called crias, would melt the stoniest of hearts. Whilst a fully grown llama is tall and its long fleece makes it look bulky, it's actually quite light, and this, along with its soft two-toed feet, means that it does no damage to the ground. This quality makes them popular as pack animals in national parks and other environmentally sensitive areas. Australian llamas are in great demand in the USA as breeders. Australian bred females have fetched prices from $40,000 to $70,000 in auctions in America, and the introduction of new genes from imported breeders from South America ensures that the quality of our animals will increase. Companion animals can be purchased for as little as $1,000. As I said at the beginning, we've added a small family of llamas to our family, and they've hugely increased the quality of life of every member of my family. Now, they're not unreasonable as far as purchase price is concerned. Because of the small numbers in Australia, any new llama, any cria, which is what the babies are called, of course, is a great asset to the family. But apart from any of that is the fact that they are such superb animals to live with. If you'd like to know more about llamas, give me a call. We'll be back after this break.